up, guys? It is Jake from Team Insanity, and I'm bringing you one of the reviews that a lot of people have been asking about. The wait is finally over. I know a lot of you guys have been dying to see it. It's the Bob Long VCOM review, okay? This is basically the gun of my dreams that I really wanted to buy for a long time, ever since DJ got his Ripper like 2 years ago or something like that. About the time that I bought my DM12, yeah, so about 2.5-ish years ago, DJ bought the Ripper, which I'll get into that later. He bought the Ripper, and I just liked how comfortable it was. I loved the design, and after that, I just wanted a Bob Long, and I really fell in love with how the VCOMs look and just how they perform and all the specs of them, which I will definitely be getting into. And this is her. This is Bertha. Okay, and now, so in the packaging, it depends upon if you get the hard or the soft case. Now, Bob Long definitely is not the best about his packaging. I definitely don't agree. I feel like you should get a manual, just like I'm going to bash on Bob Long, because Bob Long, you need to put manuals in your guns, especially not the quick start bullshit or whatever. I shouldn't have to go on PB Nation to find out what normal pressures are running, okay? Shouldn't have to find out what your normal operating pressure should be, and it just shouldn't be like that. I should know the dwell settings, and I should know everything for all the engines and everything else, which is not always, clear in stupid quick start manuals to show you how to put the battery in. Now, with the soft case, I think it's worth it. It's a cool case. You get the slot for the gun itself, which is right here. It's a decent slot. And then I ended up getting mine like I wanted with the barrel kit. Okay, so I got 2 barrels here. I have 3 barrel backs. I have the 685, which is on it, a 679, and a 691, which I did not choose the bore sizes. They just sort of happened. Okay, and normally I have the extra engine in here, but I moved her just for the purpose of the review, because I have to take it out. Now, I have lube, because we're going to lube her up. And then we have this. This is the spool valve engine. Okay, I will get into this. This is the spool, Allen wrenches, and then the pressure tester. We're probably going to need all of this stuff, so I'm going to take it all out. And then you get this tiny little cute little O-ring kit that you won't ever use, because I have not had any issues with them. Now, a lot of people are skeptical that they say Bob Longs break down. I have not had an issue with my Bob Long. The only Bob Longs that really had a big issue when they first kind of came out, the insights really had some sort of issues, because there was a new bolt design. It was just a new design in general. It was just something new, and of course it had itself some few issues, but he resolved them. They all got fixed. Okay, so with the VCOM and the Victory line, there's really not many problems. There's 2 big lines that Bob Long has. You have the Victory line, the Mark Victory line, and then you have the G6R line that everyone really loves. The G6R, I've never really seen one ever break down. I can't tell you. It's sort of like an ego. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't even tell you the last time I've seen one go down at the field, and I see them very often. One of the guys, actually, I don't know if he still has it, Aaron, one of the guys that shoots the photography at Lone Wolf and for us, part of AA Photography. If you guys look at our Facebook, you'll definitely see his pictures. He had a really sexy flame G6R, and I remember I think it was last year, he's just like, yeah, I've had this gun about 4 years, and I haven't, he's like, I've lubed it maybe once, and I don't think I've rebuilt it. So he's like, I think I'm going to go home and rebuild it. That was 4 years ago. Or that was 4 years of him owning that gun. So that shows you how pretty much you get it set and right, and you're not really going to have much of an issues, at least with me. When I first got this gun, it was sort of near the end of winter, and now it's, sort of the end of our summer. I mean, at least for Michigan, it's the end of our summer. So I have had it for a while. A lot of people have been asking why I haven't done a review. That's why I like to shoot it for a very long time. First time I got it, I used it in a tournament, okay? Worst tournament, the most stressful tournament we've ever had. It was one of the NXPL tournaments. Even though we didn't place that terrible, I'll tell you why. We had like 4 guns go down, okay? We had Doug brought 2 Luxes. Both of his Luxes went down. I don't even know. Jacob's Lux went down. Jacob's NT went down. And then Jordan's Lux went down. We were like teetering with trying to fix his Lux. It would work some games, work not some games. An Axe went down. A DM went down. Basically, the only people's guns that were working at the time was mine and Stephen Pope's. Rambo baby. I didn't have an issue with mine. I don't know if it was the weather and the settings, but they were working great the day before, and then their guns just took a complete shit. Mine worked perfectly fine the entire tournament, didn't skip a beat. The only thing I had an issue with is I had to change my bore size. That was it. No other problems that I had. Just had to redo my bore size because of the paint fluctuating, and that was in the winter time with the spool valve engine. Okay, now if you guys don't know, which is really cool about this gun that I think is the best design honestly on the market. I mean, the eye pipe is also an amazing design, but I'm not going to get into that because a lot of you know how I feel. But God, this design is probably one of the most amazing designs I've ever seen. This, you can run the Poppet engine. He has 3 engines that you can run. So you can make this gun technically shoot, you can have 3 different bolts and shoot 3 different ways. You can have the supercharger bolt or the supercharged bolt. You can have the spool valve engine, which is the VCOM engine, or you can have his smoothest VIS bolt, okay? The VIS bolt has been giving a lot of big high-end guns a run for their money. One of them, in my opinion, is the LV1. Okay, this is Nick's LV1. So later on in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to test the VCOM versus the LV1. We're going to have Jacob, who doesn't necessarily, isn't a big fan of playing Eclipse, and he's not a big fan of Bob Long. He loves his Lux. He doesn't care about either of the companies. And so if you have Nick test the 2 guns side by side, he's going to be like, my LV1 shoots the best. And then if you have me shoot my gun next to his LV1, I'm going to be like, my Bob Long shoots the best. So we're going to have Jacob, who just really doesn't give a shit, and he's going to shoot both of them. So you guys get a more unbiased opinion later on. That's going to be next before the maintenance video. And so anyways, back to this, is that you have the 2 different engines. The VIS is the Poppet that's giving a lot of high-end guns, a lot of high-end Poppets a run for their money, especially the LV1 and the Cyborgs and all that stuff, because of how smooth it is and just the amazing shot quality of it. I can't tell you, just it feels like I'm shooting the spool valve engine. Not really, because the spool is like butter, but I mean, it feels just godly amazing. I'm just always so happy when I shoot it. I didn't think a Poppet could ever be that smooth. I'm not even joking. It's just like, damn, that's smooth. Now the spool, also, like, oh my god, it's a really smooth engine. I haven't used the spool valve as much because, one reason, I use the spool a lot on DJ's gun, so I already know what it shoots like. I used it at first, I used it in the tournament. I'm like, yeah, that's great, I already know how it shoots. I want to test out this amazing VIS bolt, which has what I've been doing. And I have to tell you, I'm very impressed on how he has designed this VIS bolt. So anyways, like I said, for you guys that don't know, is that it's the coolest design that you can make this gun shoot Poppet and spool, okay? Because if you are like me, I prefer spools. They're my gun. I like spools way more than I like Poppets. But I have days, I live in Michigan, so it's like there's days when it's, you know, negative 10 degrees, and if I'm playing, you know, they can only heat the indoors so much. The big warehouse, you know, it can only get so hot in there because it's such a big building. So it's really nice to have that Poppet valve engine that doesn't really get affected much by the weather compared to the spool, which no other gun or gun company has that design out. You can't, I mean, sure, you can take the Go3 and put an IV core in it, but it doesn't turn it into a Poppet. This is the only gun that you can get to shoot both ways, okay? It's like having a lesbian girlfriend. It's great. You can have a 3-way with 2 girls. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, so it's awesome. And I'm going to show you the difference between the bolts. And I'm also going to show you how to change the bolts. So like I said, I think that's basically the coolest design that you can really get on the market. And I really don't know what other amazing designs that you can possibly get out of that. But I think that's personally I think it's brilliant. I really do. Because if you want to go to a big game, like another example, if you want to go to a big game, oh my God, I'm having problems with this. If you want to go to a big game and get mass efficiency, then you just go ahead, throw an SLP tank on here, and you throw an SLP reg with a decent sized tank in the VIS, and you're going to get over a case of paint on a 6845. And I'm just struggling to get this bolt out because the last time that we used it, it's kind of stuck because it doesn't have any lube on it, because we were using it for a challenge video that you guys will see eventually. And so, God, I need to lube this bolt. So anyways, we made a quick cut because there was dirt on the bolt and it was dragging and I couldn't bring it out. It was dragging on the O-ring. So just make sure that you keep your bolt clean, or else it's not going to work out that easy. But I'm going to show you how to take these bolts. I'm going to show you how to change them out, use the pressure tester. One of the other things is when I bring the camera in, I'm going to show you the difference in the milling. One of the other things that I didn't really touch on is how ergonomics it is, and the ergonomics that Jacob hates me using that word. But you can see the awesome milling cuts in this. If you can't, let me show you through my shirt. But the feel in the hands and the grip frame is just amazing, and I'm so comfortable with this. Macroless, so you have all these different options. I like to wrap my thumb around the barrel. Sometimes I do like to firmly grasp it. It has a nice long reg, so you do have a nice, I do have baby hands, but it is decent. It's long enough for the person that has grizzly paws, basically. But I have small hands. I also like to wrap it around the barrel. And I'll show you why when I bring the camera in closer, and I can show you the difference of the millings and all that good stuff. So anyways, what I'm going to do is we're going to bring the camera in, and I'm going to show you how to maintenance it and all that stuff. No, actually, we're going to go outside. We're going to take it and test it against the LV1, so that way you guys get a baseline on how it compares to basically the most amazing gun on the market, the LV1. And so you guys can see what Jacob has to say about it, who doesn't care about either one of the guns, to be honest with you. So let's go ahead and do that. Then I'll do the maintenance, and then we'll wrap it up.
Alright, so we got the Bob Lone VCOM, then we got the Planet Eclipse LV1, and like Jake previously stated, we're going to do a shooting comparison. The reason I'm doing it is because Jake kind of likes the VCOM more, and Nick likes his LV1 more. Surprise, surprise, they're both their own guns. So I'm going to give an unbiased view of both how they shoot. Alright, so I'm going to shoot the VCOM first, and LV1. Hard to, they're close, but I think the VCOM is a little bit better.
Wait, can you speak up a little bit?
So they're close. Like, I'm having a little bit of trouble thinking which one can shoot better from an unbiased opinion, but I kind of like how the VCOM shoots more. But like I said, it's kind of a hard choice. The VCOM's got less kick.
Which one's quieter?
The VCOM's quieter.
The VCOM's quieter. You said it has less kick.
Yep. And I want to say it's a smoother shot, I believe. But like I said, they're very close on smoothness.
So you can kind of see the VCOM. LV1. LV1 has more kick.
Alright, so now I'm just going by the feel of the gun, not really shooting it. Seeing which one feels a bit better. I feel like the grips on the LV1 are a bit stiff. I like how thin it is, but like my hands aren't the most comfortable with how the grips feel. It's not heavy. Alright, I'm gonna slide this down very carefully. Pick up the VCOM. Alright, so I already like the grips a bit more. They're not as stiff as LV1 is. It's a bit windy, so sorry if you can't hear me. My hand was a little bit more awkward of grabbing something here. Like I had better something more to grab on the LV1, but I can still find a comfortable spot. So in terms of where to put my right hand on the foregrip, I think it's a little bit more comfy on that, but the back grip is more stiff. but I can still find a comfortable spot on both of them. They both feel good in the hands. I think the LV one's lighter. I mean, the VCOM is lighter.
Well, it does have a lighter tank on it though, because that has a 68 and that has a 48, I believe. So if you had to say,
I'd rather shoot a VCOM.
So if you had to buy one, you know, if you could either buy the LV one or the VCOM right now for the same price, you'd buy the VCOM over the LV one?
Yeah, especially because I can switch it from top to spool.
Okay, we're gonna go and do the maintenance. All right, so here is, first things first, I'm gonna show you the difference between the engines. And so this is the maintenance, by the way. So you pop this bad boy up and there's 2 screws underneath here. So we're gonna have to take this cap off because I'm gonna show you how to change to the spool valve engine. This is the VIS. This is what Jacob just used for the shooting video. I'm gonna take this bad boy off because I like the spool and I've just been using this for review purposes, and I'm probably gonna put it back away and just use the spool for the rest of the summer and use it at Area 51 Invasion, the alien game that we're going to, or the miner game. I don't know what it is anymore. We're gonna do that. We're actually gonna take this and move this off to the side. So here's 2 of the differences. One is the polished. So what you're gonna wanna do, basically, you're gonna want some nice sleek, some nice Dow 33. You're not really gonna need any 55 or anything like that. Also, when you're doing this, you're gonna wanna put a touch of lube up here on, or not lube, but some like gun oil on here on the front, the very front of the engine itself, or the bolt guide, or not the guide, the bolt. And so to get this apart, you're just gonna take this, you're gonna screw the bolt head off, you're gonna screw the bolt, same thing with the spool. So you have to pull it just a wee bit, so you can already see a little difference in the bolt heads, or the, you know, just the front of the bolts themselves. They both have the same soft tip on them, so it's a soft tip bolt. Break this bad boy open. Okay, so this is the maintenance part of the VCOM, and I already skipped a little bit ahead to take it apart so you don't have to watch me unscrew stuff. And so I took this down to basically as far as you're really going to need to take this down. This is the poppet engine right here. This is the VIS. And what else you're going to want to do to take it off is that there's 2 screws here on the back cap. You're going to want to take that off the back of the engine, and then so that way you can change engines. So you can see the minor differences. You can also take this out of the spool. I mean, you don't really need to, just for what I'm doing. And basically you can see these also are soft tip bolts, which are really nice. And you can sort of see the difference between the poppet and the spool. They're both very efficient. The spool I was getting about, if I tried on a 68-45, maybe 10-11 pods, if more than that. I haven't really been paying much attention to VIS, just stupid amount. I haven't, you know, I didn't really care because I just refilled after each one because it would never move. So I'm just going to slowly put everything back together for you. So that, we're going to start to slowly put it all back. I'm going to put the VIS back together, because I'm just going to put this one away because I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to switch back to the spool because I was using this for reviewing purposes. But now that I don't really, doesn't really matter much anymore. And so what you'll want to do with the VIS is you're going to want to use Dow 33. Don't use 55 on the spool or the poppet. Just use some nice 55 or for 33 or some type of equivalent. Maybe monkey poo, I know some people use. And then you're going to want to put maybe like some tri-flow or just some gun oil right here. And so that way you're going to be covered from scratches, and it's just going to give those O-rings a nice little coat. But you don't want to stick lube up here, okay? The VIS also, you don't really want to exceed much more than 15 balls per second. After that, it's going to get really finicky. I mean, your consistency is going to get really weird. Over the chronograph, once you have this tuned right, after I broke it in, right before I did this video, I was testing it. I was getting about plus or minus 3 over the chronograph. If you do it right, plus or minus 3 should basically be the biggest gap that you should really get. That's a little bit big in my opinion for that engine. I must have been using weird paint. Normally it's like 275, 276, 276, 275, and maybe I'd get a 274 here and there, but it's a really, really consistent engine. I'm just going to start piecing back. And so basically with the spool, you're just going to want to oil up these O-rings, just the same thing. Use a Dow 33. It's very, very easy maintenance. It's nothing that's, you know, too difficult that shouldn't scare you away from it. It's easy. It's, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Even Jacob could do it if he wanted to. What's also cool is the ram is also blue. So the other thing with Bob-along is that you can get some really cool anodizings, which is awesome. If you guys don't know about that, you can get all these different anodizings in all these different colors. It's pretty awesome. So here's the spool. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out that I talked about with the milling in this is that there is a notch right here. You could probably see it with that light shining on it. There's a nice notch right here. So say if I go and when I wrap my thumb around the barrel, my finger fits into that notch really perfect, my first finger. The other ones wrap around the reg other than this one sometimes goes up the body, but it fits like damn perfect right into this notch. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but anytime I go and wrap my hand around the barrel, my finger, it fits right in there perfectly, and it gives you that nice grasp, and it feels very, I don't know how, it feels thin, and it feels like it just belongs there. That it's just a very cool milling design that I haven't really seen on many other guns, and it just fit. When I figured that out when I was shooting it, I was like, damn, that's comfortable, and it really is. And so this is also, it's a stretched out gun. It's not as stretched out as the Vanquish. I wish I had my Vanquish 1.5 here to show you guys, but I'm going to show you ASA to ASA. Let me line this up real quick. That's back to the ASA. This is a Bob-along G6R, so you can sort of see where these line up. It's damn near the same. The same. I'll show you on top. And if you guys know about the G6Rs, and one thing that I really liked about the G6R is that stretched feeling. The G6R has just like a wheedle bit on the, like it's very hard to notice. Yeah, it's got maybe like a little itty bitty few, like maybe not even a full inch, maybe half an inch difference. I don't even know if I had a measuring tape, I'd totally like get down to the, you know, millimeters for you, but I don't. No. I'm also going to show you, let me also show you the LV one. Go ASA to ASA again. That seems to work. So you can sort of see this is sort of, let me show you with the nail and wrench. The LV one definitely, it's stretched out just a little bit more. It's not a full regulator length, but it's a decent size more stretch out. Now I'll show you where the barrels line up is basically the same, and it's definitely that integrated LPR that is why it's a little bit more stretched out in the front reg. That's why I think it's stretched out a little bit more, is because of that cool integrated LPR design that they have. But as you can see, it's just a little bit bigger of a gun in general. You can see the grips over here, so the grip frame is a little bit bigger. The ASA is definitely a little bit bigger. It's a more beefier gun. Plenty Clips I've seen puts out some nice beefy guns. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but you can see how the grip protrudes a little bit. So if you have Mike Paxton hands and you have really long hands, then that might be something to think about when comparing, even though this one in like every single category. But so I'm just looking. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a little bit bigger. The trigger frames line up pretty damn close. Or the trigger frames are basically the spot on. I like the VCOM trigger a lot more. The VCOM trigger's really nice. I love Bob-along's triggers. Even though they look kind of awkward, they're really not. So now I'm going to show you how to use the pressure tester if you use one, or if you do get one. Now I always like to hold the back of it or something, you know, something along the lines of that, because I always feel like if I don't, it's gonna bust me right in my mouth, and it's gonna fly out because I'm always looking at it. So I'm gonna go to the spool valve settings. This is really easy to do, and they should be already pretty damn near set to it. It has a great board. The board is a full LED or OLED display. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn it on. The only real issue that I wish that would be changed is to turn the eyes off. You kind of have to hold the trigger for some time. Now the eyes are off. Okay, so as you can see, you can just pull the trigger and that pressure tester should not come flying out. Okay, so I'm going to want to change, that's the HPR. I'm going to want to change my LPR to about 70. No, it's about 60. I'm going to do 65. And this is just something that I like to do. Now don't be a DJ. DJ accidentally, when we were messing around with it, started unscrewing the body grip or the body screw. So don't do that, because then it's going to make some weird noises. You can blow O-rings. It's lots of fun. So do the one closest to the trigger frame. That's the LPR. And these are just, I'm just going to change it just for an example. You can go ahead and tinker with your own settings and make up your own settings. That's what's really fun about these guns. I'm just going to go off camera just for a second so I can get this Allen wrench in. But that's another really cool thing that I like about these, is how you can definitely tune them and make them your own type of shooting gun that you're going to really want. You can't really do that with any other gun. And so now I'm just going to start slowly twisting it, the LPR. I'm going to use this one so I can torque, because it's a little, once it's aired up, it's kind of a little bit harder to do it. And then once you turn it, you're going to want to give it a few shots and then see where it went. And then I'm gonna keep on going a little bit. I think my pressure's got a little jacked up. That's alright, it happens. You don't have to do this often. Now, one thing that I do want to do is get a nicer gauge for this bad boy, because that way I can get very, very precise. Like some people like to run 63 or 62 or 50, 51 and a half or something like that. And my gauge is not like, you know, I mean, it's nice and accurate, but the notches are so big, it's in such big increments, it's really, really hard to get it down that precise. So that's probably one thing I'm going to start looking at doing here pretty soon. Only if I could get this Allen wrench in. And so this is, I mean, it's really, really easy. I'm just struggling with the Allen wrench part. But that's basically all you have to do for this. And then you're going to want to change your dwell accordingly. Just going to look. 40, 50, 60. I'll maybe give it just a little bit more. Yep, that's about, I think that's going to be about just where I want it. And I'm going to look at my HPR. See, it's right in the middle, right where I normally want to keep it. You degas it. So this is how easy, I mean, you can do this. Really, once you get it down and you get your pressures down right where you want to put it, then you can go really, really fast. But I'm just taking my, like when you're at the field, you can go really fast. Now, when you're putting this back together, now you turn off the board, but it's a very, very nice display, very easy to handle. I'm not going to do an efficiency test on this because it's too godly amazing. Now, one thing with this is that you want to make sure that you're putting it back right. You want to make sure that the magnet's on there. That's one way to line it up correctly. and I just had a screw fall out someplace. There she is. So you'll just want to line it up just like I did. Take that Allen wrench, tighten it in. It's really simple, really easy. I mean, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is just, tighten down some screws, and you're just going to want to make sure that you do lube up this with some nice, Dow 33, like I said earlier, sleek, monkey poo, some type of equivalent. So that way, as you don't want to get dirt on that, like I did earlier when I had the issue of trying to yank that stupid bolt out. It got kind of difficult because there was, dirt gummed up around it because we were playing with it outside. It got in the dirt and it was just game over after that. So it was really hard to get it out. But I got her out. So, I mean, it's a fantastic design. It's a fantastic bolt. I really have nothing bad to say about it other than, I mean, just that one little itty bitty thing with the board that I just thought about just 2 seconds ago. But I mean, it's very simple to change on the fly. You can change all your settings once you get used to it, about 10 minutes. So, I mean, it's really an easy gun, and it takes, no time to switch between engines for you to switch up your entire game plan if it starts raining, or, etc. So, like I said, amazing design. Now we're going to go out. We are going to do the conclusion and just wrap up this video. So basically, in conclusion, I have to say, especially after the LV1 test, a lot of you guys have shot an LV1, you know what it feels like, you love the LV1, and Jacob basically just said the VCOM shoots smoother. You guys probably heard that it's quieter if you couldn't hear the wind. He likes the grip frame like I do as well. He likes the LV1 grip, or the LV1 rag a little bit more, but I'm used to it, and I don't like the LV1, but that's the LV1 front grip. That's because I'm used to this one. Could totally get used to it though. But I mean, you had someone's unbiased opinion that doesn't really care about either of the guns tell you that it's smoother, that the Poppet engine is smoother, it's quieter, it's also it's a lot more efficient than basically any other gun other than Bob Long's. I mean, I don't really have anything bad to say about this gun. You can make it shoot you can make it shoot 3 different ways. You can tune it however you want. You can either keep it stock settings, or you can tinker with it if you want. I just like going, more stock settings. Personally, I haven't, really tinkered around with it that much. When I get bigger gauges and everything like that, I probably will tinker around with it some more, but I just haven't gotten to it. So, I mean, it's my dream gun. I love the design. I have nothing bad to say. I mean, it's the best gun in the world. I really don't know what else to tell you guys. I mean, it's up to you to form your own opinion on it. Go out and shoot one. Shoot a victory. Shoot a mark. Shoot just a victory line marker. Shoot a ripper. Shoot a VIS. Shoot one of the not an intimidator, not a Timmy. What are they called? Not the ripper. The reptile. There we go. Shoot one of those, and then you'll really understand why I love this gun so much. I can't describe it to you. You have to go out and you have to shoot one for yourself, and then you'll really know what I'm trying to describe. It'll be like, it's just that wow factor. I haven't really been blown away with a gun as much as this one, to be honest with you. I haven't just been like, damn, that's a great gun. I have nothing to say in the conclusion bad, other than I effing love this gun, and I recommend it to everyone in the entire world, because it can do everything. It can shoot spool, pop it. I mean, I think I've covered everything. So if you have any questions, hit us up. We're open to questions, and yeah, deuces.